Well, I think that the biggest issue here is that we've been told that there is no dispute, when obviously we can see that there is one. Very clearly in our meeting last Tuesday with Minister Isola and Minister Linares, we were told that there were all the points of dispute had been resolved and that we needed to withdraw the dispute. We certainly don't agree, and actually we feel that that is worse than being told that they disagree with you, that you're unreasonable or that you're wrong, because I very strongly feel that in order to resolve any issue, first there needs to be an acknowledgement of the disagreement, and a willingness to engage on those points. For us it felt that it was gaslighting, that you go there and you're told actually no, you don't have a dispute. Very clearly we do. These issues have been running for 6 years now. It's a long time for a department to be feeling aggrieved. It's a long time for people to be unhappy at work. And we would have really welcomed a lot more engagement and real dialogue and a real appetite to resolve the issues that have been outstanding for such a long time.
Minister Isola said in his press release that it's the IT&LD department's fault that tax forms have not been processed because the site is down this week. Is that true?
Well, I think that if you can remember 6 years ago, e-government was in fact in the hands of IT&LD with a budget of £300,000. Then it was taken from IT&LD and given to digital services, to the Ministry for Digital Services, where after £18 million of public expenditure, we have what we have today. Now, if we're looking at software issues, remember that is under digital services remit, and whether our issues pertaining to the servers, that would be under IT&LD's remit, we have been asking for resources for the last 6 years. Among those resources requested were servers. So wherever there is a failure from the server point of view, we feel it is extremely unfair to severely under-resource a department and then when there is a problem to blame them for it. And this has been the crux of what we have been complaining for so long. And it's just really, really disappointing, and it's a big disillusionment for us to see that we're still in the same place 6 years later.
The government says that you came to that meeting last week with a new request.
Well, yes. They had given us a proposal for a structure of how cybersecurity was to be dealt with in the future. We, in principle, had no problem with that structure, but we made a counter-proposal because we wanted to include within the policy team a head of section from IT&LD relevant to whatever subject was at hand. So, for example, if it was an infrastructure issue, the head for infrastructure would attend those meetings. That, for us, was a very important point to the counter-proposal, because then it meant that, being reasonable, we could leave all the outstanding issues to be discussed in these policy team meetings. Things like, for example, that we have come out publicly before, like the migration of the e-government servers to the cloud, like the Security Operations Centre. All of these technical things could have been discussed, and the IT&LD membership could have had, that voice at that forum. That was completely rejected. So given that there was this complete rejection, how can they now think that there was a consensus? It's almost like we're in an alternate reality. You go into a meeting and there's two parallel universes and different things are happening at the same place at the same time.
What are you hoping will happen next after this demonstration?
Well, honestly, we're hoping that maybe we will have engagement. I think maybe with the Chief Minister, with the whole point to resolve this. I understand that he is no longer Minister for Industrial Relations. We would be happy to see the Minister for Industrial Relations as well. But honestly, I think that as a collective, after 6 years of this, we've come to the conclusion that perhaps Minister Isola his presence at these meetings is not conducive to a positive outcome.